Hi, I'm Joseph Rand with homebuyertaxcredit.com, your leading resource for information about the homebuyer tax credit. We get a lot of questions on our blog and on our website from people who are confused about the issue of what qualifies you as a long-time homeowner. People get confused because the tax credit for homeowners is often called the step-up credit or the move-up credit, or we call it the long-time homeowner credit. And people are a little confused about what it means to be a long-time homeowner. So we wanted to review some of those eligibility requirements for you. The main requirement is this. In order to qualify as a long-time homeowner, you have to have owned a home that you lived in for 5 consecutive years out of the last 8, and it has to be the same home. Let me say that again. You have to have lived there for 5 consecutive years out of the last 8 years prior to when you close, and it has to be the same home. Well, what does that mean? Well, you can't have lived in one home for 3 years and another home for 3 years and say that, well, I lived in a home for 6 years out of the last 8, I should qualify. It has to be the same home. Can't be 2 homes added up together. Now, there are 3 things that come up which we want to let you know about in terms of these restrictions. The first is that although people call this a step-up tax credit or a move-up tax credit, there's nothing that says that you have to move up or step up in value. A lot of people misunderstand that if their home is worth $300,000 and they buy a home, they have to buy a home that's worth more than $300,000. That's not the case. You can buy a home that is less expensive than the home you are selling. You don't literally have to move up or step up. You just have to be a homeowner who has owned and lived in a home for 5 consecutive years out of the last 8. The second big misunderstanding people have is that they think they have to sell their current home. You do not have to sell your current home. You can keep your current home and buy a new home. The only thing is you do have to move into the new home. You can't buy a home and then stay in your old home. So you don't have to sell the old home, but you can't live there anymore. You have to rent it out or leave it to your kids or I don't know, do anything you want with it. You just can't live in it. And then third of the other big misunderstandings people have is you don't have to actually live in the home now. To be a long-time homeowner, it's 5 consecutive years out of the last 8. It doesn't say the last 5 years. So you could have owned a home for 5 consecutive years and you could have sold that home or just moved out of that home within the last 2 or 3 years, and you could still qualify as a long-time homeowner even though you're not living there now. And that's a real big misunderstanding. I've seen that on a lot of sites. You don't have to live in the home now. A lot of people reference that the home you're selling. You don't have to sell anything, and you don't have to live there now. So 5 consecutive years out of the last 8, and it has to be the same home, but you don't have to step up in value, you don't have to sell your home, and you don't have to be living in the home now. Well, we hope this is helpful in explaining to you what qualifies you as a long-time homeowner. If you have any other questions, then just check out homebuyertaxcredit.com, where we have an eligibility test. You can go through the eligibility test, find out if you're eligible, and there's lots of other resources on the site that you'll probably like. Also, of course, before you make any decisions involving the homebuyer tax credit, you should always check with your accountant. Thanks for watching and have a great day.